On this, Victor Teo joins me live from Singapore. He is a political scientist, a specialist on Indo-Pacific affairs. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. Now, my first question is, why is President Putin visiting North Korea now? I understand this is his first visit in more than 2 decades. What do you think about the timing of this visit?
Well, it cannot be divorced from what's happening in Ukraine for sure. This is the first visit to North Korea by the Russian leader in 24 years. So he last visited in 2000. And I think there are several things that he wants to achieve with this visit. First of all, he wants to revive and reinvigorate his old alliances with not only North Korea, but also with Vietnam, because he's visiting Vietnam afterwards. So with North Korea, he wants to sign a new treaty with elements of trade and military cooperation. And I think this sends a message to the US and the NATO allies that Moscow is not standing alone. And of course, the Russian leader wants to, if you like, have alternate venues of trade and cooperation with these allies to defy US-led sanctions. So it's a political message, and also remind South Korea and Japan that the Moscow will be able to compromise their security if they do not think through what they are doing with the United States. I think this is a message to South Korea and Japan as well. And of course, this is to enhance their relations between Moscow and Pyongyang after the military cooperation that we have seen that has gone on during the Ukraine war. But for that's about all this. This is why Putin is going to Pyongyang.
And I understand the West is very concerned about this meeting. What do you think could be the possible ramifications of this particular visit by the Russian president to North Korea for Russia's relationship with the West?
Well, I think the relationship between Russia and the West is already at an all-time low. So it's just going to accentuate the difficulties and protract and lead to a protracted, if you like, a lengthening of the conflict in Ukraine. Because what we are seeing is that the Russians are actually trying to get countries like North Korea to support it in the military sense. But for Pyongyang, it's good news, because there is going to be more money, more trade assistance in their favor. There's going to be a boost for the North Korean leaders' domestic political position, as well as the DPRK will see an increase in the capability of its military, because Moscow will no doubt provide it and with higher tech weapons and refresh the weaponry, since the older weapons are get sent to Ukraine. So this will lead to, of course, a longer, if you like, a more protracted war in Ukraine, I think. And it's not good for Moscow and Western relations.
And Victor, when it comes to this particular meeting, I understand there will be some sort of agreement signed between the two sides. How do you think that is going to reinforce the relationship between Russia and North Korea?
Well, I think this brings the Russia-North Korea relations up to a new level. Like I said, for the North Koreans, it's good news all around with this treaty, because the North Koreans obviously will gain a lot more than the Russians. But for the Russians, the trump card is in what the North Koreans could potentially do for them in the security field. So North Korea would not only have new weapons, but North Korea might be sending. There could be a scenario down the line where we see North Koreans preparing to send troops to fight with Russia. This is not out of the picture. It's a possibility. We could also see a boost in North Koreans' missile capabilities. I think this is going to be something that would worry the United States and her allies in Europe and as well as in Asia.
Victor Teo, thanks very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.